A Solar GM with a Solar Titan loadout. Let's get the basics out of the way. The week feature GM is Hypernet. The surges are Arc Surge only, Arc Fret, Champions are Overload and Unstoppable, and a couple of GM mods not worth mentioning. In Edge of Fate, most content will be able to be done at GM level. So content going forward in Edge of Fate, I know that I predominantly cover GM weekly featured nightfalls and such. Basically, how GM content will be in Edge of Fate, it'll be just a number of things that will be GM level. It won't be just nightfalls that are GMs. It could be an Empire Hunt that's Grandmaster level or even Ultimate level at some point. But basically, how GM content's going to be covered is it's just going to be more varied, and there's going to be much more activities than just the nightfall that's going to be covered. And self-build crafting mods and combatant build crafting mods, you are going to have to apply yourself. You're going to have to seek out the information via video. Video content's going to become very important in Edge of Fate. You might not like that. It's going to be in my benefit, actually. You're going to want to know what mods to apply and what mods not to apply, and the risk to reward ratio on loot that you're going to want, because what modifiers you apply implies what loot you're going to get. It's going to be dead important. You're going to have to be really perceptive and assertive in Edge of Fate with that. You might not be a fan of that, I don't know, but I'm just telling you how it's going to be in Edge of Fate with GM content. So I said I was going to do a Solar Titan loadout, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So Solar Titan's going to be much better next season. Right now, obviously, it's not in the best of spots, but I'm going to do a GM run with it regardless of that. Solar Titan, as we know right now, is rather simple to build craft. Let's go through it. I'm using Hammer of Sol, Rally Barricade, Throw and Hammer, Heal and Grenade, Aspects Was, Soul Invictus, Roaring Flames, because you want sunspots and you want damage bonus, ability bonus. You don't want to be using Consecration, not right now, and I suspect you won't be doing it next season neither. I don't see Solar Titans doing this. I see this happening instead, as it is right now, with the mini hammer in actual fact. Exotic could be, we'll have to see how that goes. Fragments, Ember of Torches for Radiant, so this will be even more important next season, so you will be using that. Ember of Ashes, definitely, and I don't see a world where we don't use this. Even next season you will. Scorch is so important to solar classes. Ember of Empyrean, I don't know if they're going to change the way that this works, but if they don't, you will be using this, because you get restoration on a kill chain basis with solar abilities and weapons. Ember of Solace will double up Radiant Restoration, providing that they don't change this. This is pretty much what Solar Titans use. There are some change of fragments, but this is generally what we would use. I'm pairing it with Symphoseps because Hammer of Sol does not do the damage in the game right now. I even tested using other Solar Exotics, and just Solar Titan is really bad without Symphos. You really need Symphos, it's that bad. If I don't run Symphoseps, the run will be 40 minutes. Do you want a 40-minute video or do you want a 30-minute run? You know, I want the 30-minute run, I don't want the 40-minute run. This is why we run Symphoseps, because it's damage buff to super. It's as simple as that. Limit Break is up this season. Next season, you're going to get a 45% buff on the table. Right now, it's only 30% with Limit Break. So you're going to have an opportunity to get a bigger buff on Super. Pairing that with the exotic Sidearm Devil's Ruin, I thought it'd be pretty cool to use it, because they're reworking it. This is what they're doing. Removed fire on release behavior. Beam is now behind special reload. Kills with the weapon make fire sprites, and picking up fire sprites enables the fire special reload. Beam now scorches on hit and ignites on kills. Increased mag size to 20 is now intrinsically anti-unstop. As in, it's got unstoppable intrinsic, which it's got that now, but they're just clarifying it. So this is like a mini 1k voices, sidearm, stuns, unstops. It's needing help. Hopefully the buff in Edge of Fate makes it so that it's more than usable. Right now it's usable, but only just usable. Pairing that with fixed odds, very good with solo builds. I'm using a supremacy sniper because the boss is needing a barrier weapon to pierce his shield, and it's good on Tormentor, good for a lot of things in this. Yeah, here's the armor mods. There'll be a dim link regardless. So I might not give a dim link. We'll see how we go. But yeah, that was the armor mods. That's the build on with the run. Okay, so in this run, let's evaluate Devil's Ruin performance and Solar Titan performance in this GM level activity. So we're just going to run past because the ads will be de-aggroed. They won't know you're there until they spot you. This is nice because you can skip the initial group of ads. Then you can come to these stairs, and this is where you want to start fighting from. You do this on all build. I got a healer nade down, and I've got restoration. But I've got no DR. Look at that, nearly die. So while Solar Titan's nice with the restoration, bear in mind there's no damage resist in the same instance that Arc Titan has or Strand Titan has. You know, Solar Titan's bad on damage resist, and you'll feel it in GM content like you just saw there, nearly died of the dogs. But we're risking it for the biscuit. We're playing a off-meta thing. It's an entertainer's run. That's what this is. So we're just going to keep fighting at the stairs, and I'm going to get rid of the snipers. My goal is a super. That's what my goal is, which I'm 3/4 to a super already. Took out the snipers, which is good. Just going to get rid of these initial ads. So the goal is a super, because we want to see performance on Champ, on how it's performing right now. Don't get me wrong, this isn't the full picture because there is bolt charges. I have got Defib Blast on, but I ain't taking it off just for what you want. I'm just going to run it anyways because there's champs and just want to have the run. We're already doing off meta. I'm not going to run no artifact mods. There's just no point in doing that. Destiny 2 is not intended to be played like that. You should always have artifact mods. Whether it's the last season whether it's the last week of a season, it makes no odds. Super damage was loyal. It wasn't too bad. We would not have killed both champs with that super if it wasn't for the bolt charges. So it done okay, but it's probably lagging, probably still below average damage of what a super should do. Symphoceps helped me massively in that, because we get enhanced super damage with Symphos when surrounded, so that really did help out. I can tell you right now, I've done that without Symphos, and the damage on champs solo-wise just isn't there. And that's the thing, we are crunching this. When you're solo in GM, you intrinsically crunch what you're doing. You're crunching the abilities, as in, is it good? Yes or no? And the answer is half and half in this case. Okay, top map control is utmost importance. I haven't picked a cranium up on purpose. Don't want cranium. Want to show you damage on Tormentor with super and abilities and weapons. Don't want cranium. I've already showed cranium 10 million times. I'm not showing it 10,000,001 times because I've already showed you it. Want to show the class off to you. That's the reasoning of why we didn't pick cranium up. Okay, so now once top map control is achieved, just want to clear out the rest of the snipers, which I'll do in any means necessary. If I'm playing CQC, I'll use Devil's Ruin if it's long range, sniper or LMG or what have you. Tormentor spawns in. Remember to skip one of the unstops. Don't damage. Don't kill the initial unstop and you'll get one less and still get plat rank. So your goal is just Tormentor. That's it. Okay, I'll get a barricade up here for deterrent, and I'm going to use a bit of LMG because I'm going to try and conserve a bit of sniper ammo because Tormentor is immune to all damage other than shoulder pads. My sniper is kinetic tremors. Once shoulder pads have been taken off, I'll do more damage after shoulder pads are taken off with the sniper. Yeah? So that's what I've done there. I micromanage my damage a little bit. But here's what we're going to do here. Is I'm going to come to this location. This is a bit of a exploit slightly on the Tormentor, but look at damage. And this is no Symphos damage. That's alright, that, because that's limit break. Bear in mind no Solar Surge, and Solar Surge would help out massively on this, but that damage isn't too bad actually. But if I had Solar Surge, if I had access to Solar Surge right now, the damage would probably pass my test, as in This is pretty good super solo wise. It's doing the damage. Tormentor's tanky in GM, but not to mention we are 2041 in power. So I'm a minus 20 delta technically for the GM. So I'm actually kind of over leveled as opposed to what we should be for GM. Once Tormentor is weak-ish, below a third HP, you want to come into mid and get rid of the unstop. If you don't do this, you won't get plat rank. So this is what we're doing here. Notice how good Devil's Ruin is on unstops. It's really good to get an initial stun. It's good for that, yes. We'll get weak here. That's what the healing aid's on for. Because I'm purposely overcommitting to get this unstop to be killed. Ran out of sniper ammo, but that's alright. That's expected. There's special ammo on the floor elsewhere. Come back to my zone. I'll get a barricade down for deterrency. Rally Barricade is very powerful on any Titan class at all. I pretty much recommend that you always run Rally Barricade now. Unless you're maybe doing Consecration Titan, Thruster with Inmost Light. Yeah, maybe. But on like Void Titan, Arc Titan, Solar Titan, Strand Titan, always run Rally over Towering. Towering Barricade has now become a PvP ability. There are times when Towering comes in really nice, but other than that, Rally's far too strong now in the game to be not using it. It's a deterrent, it soaks up a lot of damage, it's incredibly strong on all Titan classes. Always use Rally in PvE outside of a couple of occasions where you might run Towering. Those occasions are limited to probably a few times ever in the game. So 90% of your playtime should be Rally, 10% should be Towering. That's basically the advices, and that's Edge of Fate advices as well. Alright, ammo check, we're full on Spesh, nearly full on heavy, so we're good, in a good spot. 6 minutes in, no cranium damage. That's really good. That's quick. We've done decent there. So I'm going to snipe down the Phalanxes and the Centurions at the back of the map. They are the problem, because they go to hide. So we're taking advantage of killing them now, so that they're not a problem later on. The more you do now, the less you do later. That's obvious. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because if you don't do that, they will hide and be a problem to you later. Try to approach every single thing you do in this game ever to prep yourself in future. That's easier said than done. It can't always be done like that. It depends on what content you're playing and exactly what you're doing. But knowing little things in advance like, oh, ads will de-aggro if you play from range. Alright, kill them before that happens. Makes your life easier. We've isolated ads away from champs. I get a finisher kill here on that champ there. Now I'm going to get a Rally Barricade up here and aggro this unstop. Look, he's interested. I get a ball charge hammer throw, which is nice. Get the ball charge damage. I don't need to pop super. Champ is dead anyways, no point. I'll get another stun with Devil's Ruin, good for that. Champ is finishable for ammo, good. Pick up the ammo. I'm full on heavy almost. I'm going to jump over to this champ here. I'll use super because I've got nothing to use the super. My super is now a throwaway ability, so let's just check damage. That's no Symphoceps. This is why. This is an example of, look, Solar Titans. I know that you have a problem with using Symphoceps in 2025 and you don't like it because you're bored. The thing about it is, though, it's super damage bonus, and you need to recognize, take it from me, super buff is so important in the game. If an exotic gives super buff, you need to run it. I know there's no Path of Burning Steps, I know there's Phoenix Cradle and all that stuff. Right now in the game, Path of Burning Steps, Phoenix Cradle, and aren't good in the game. They're not that good. It's not worth it. Even if you get ×4 Solar Weapon Surge, Path of Burning Steps is not worth it right now. It will be worth it in Edge of Fate, though. Everything's going to change. You will be allowed to run a weapon build in Edge of Fate with the weapon stat and use your weapons as your build. It's going to be fantastic. But right now, as we are, before Edge of Fate launches, that's not the case. Yeah, you want ability bonus. More so. than weapon damage bonus on a solo playback loop. Yeah, we're talking content specific. I ain't talking dungeons. Do you see a dungeon boss? Do you see a raid boss here? I hope you don't, because I don't see one. So we're not talking solo DPS. We're not talking DPS in any fashion. GM content needs playback loop. That's what you need here. Playback loop is the most important factor, and still will be the most important factor unless they bring in GM bosses with time damage windows, which I never foresee that ever happening. For example, let's take Devil's Lair, you know, Sepix. Are we ever going to be in an occasion where we're in a GM and we're timed to do damage to him, and then once that timer runs out, you can't do damage? That will never happen, because that playback loop is exclusive to dungeons and raids only. It's not on GM content. And a lot of the GM content in Age of Fate will be story missions, empire hunts, and things of that nature. So playback loop will be king. It won't be I need to do damage to a boss within 30 seconds, and if that's not optimal, it's no good. That situation will not arise in GM content, as far as I foresee. So playback loop's most important. Now, weapon damage in Edge of Fate will be a playback loop, because if you're rocking 200 weapon stat, we don't know how useful that's going to be, but if you are, and you're using, I don't know, Le Monarch, and you're enhancing it with the 200 stat bonus, then there's a lot to be said about that. So you'll be able to use weapon builds, like what I've been complaining about for the last 5-6 years. You'll now fully be able to spec into weapons. So you'll be perfect. It could be perfect, but it could be a disaster as well. We don't know. We need to play it. This is the problem. We can theory craft all day, but we need to play the damn game. 15th of July is needed. You can't really comment too much. You know, that's what needs to happen. Simple as. We all need to play it. Okay, so these overloads. I'm going to take out the snipers first. The prism is pickable up, and you can use it for the overloads. Tap fire relics. It's Arc Surge. Arc Surge buffs the relic. So your easy week. It's so easy this week because of this. Just look at the amount of damage relic does. Look at that. No weapon keeps up with that. There isn't any weapon in the game. I mean, maybe a lot of wolves, but a lot of wolves requires you to expand special ammo. Relic is free ammo. Means you don't need to spend any ammo at all. So this has basically made... It's basically made HyperNet very easy GM now. It never used to be. It used to be very difficult at HyperNet. It was very difficult. There was relics back then, but it was much more difficult than now, especially at launch of HyperNet when Lightfall came out. And especially, I suppose now with the power creep plus the craniums, it just makes HyperNet very easy now. It's a very easy GM. So the cranium has killed 3 overloads, and it's going to kill a solo captain for me. So look how I've spaced out the relic. Pretty nice, pretty good. It's done its job. Okay, now we'll get rid of the snipers. It's barrier sniper, so it shoots through the shields. So we can get rid of the snipers and the captains very easily. I'm saving the super on purpose, because I want to show you it on overload champ and ad clear in this little zone here. It's a good opportunity. Snipers fell down, and then he relocated. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up top. This is actually just to get to the overload easier. Just so I can jump up without having to deal with the ads. But I am going to jump up here for Ogre phase, but not for first phase. So I've got overload LMG on, remember. We'll stun overload. We'll get a hammer throw. That will proc limit break. Overload froze me, but that's fine. He gets killed pretty quick. That's not bad. And then we're just going to use the rest of my super in my sunspot. Remember, always stand in a sunspot as much as you can whilst doing Hammer of Sol super damage. Always try and be in a sunspot. You can't always. Sometimes you do have to move out of a sunspot, lest you will die. Not in this. I'm on about in general. Sometimes that happens. But just make another sunspot. You can make another one with your hammers on the floor. You sacrifice damage, but yeah, you end up getting another sunspot, so just do that. Killing the second overload. So look, we cleared that section rather quickly. Pretty good, not bad at all. Nice. Cranium, we'll pick up a cranium, we need it for the rifts. Okay, so this is the optimization. So you just can come up here, you can ignore Thrall if you wish, and you can just clear out the ogres. A lot of people end up dying on the ogre section. I guess because they knock them off the map or they don't know where to stand. We'll just stand up here. This is easier for players. 50% rifts closed, ogres spawning. So the relic will deal with everything for you here. We get a drain ogre, would not matter if you do as well, because look, he can't drain me up here. I mean, he can, but not as effectively. And just get rid of the ogres. So now I'm thinking about ammo as I'm killing this ogre. So I'm thinking, what's good? I mean, 200 ammo and LMG is more than enough. This field prep LMG is really good. Fixed odds is. And will still be good next season. It'll be one of the go-to solar machine guns that you use until you get your new solar machine gun. I don't know what solar machine guns are going to be in Edge of Fate, because I don't want to look into every corner of that expansion until it comes out. I don't know. But for the foreseeable future, fixed odds will be the best LMG that you use until you get your next solar machine gun. Don't know what it'll be. Don't know. But it will be really good. Reason being is because field prep enhances machine gun gameplay massively, because you can spam it. And it's stackable with scavengers and will be in Edge of Fate. I don't foresee them changing that. Not only that, you've got heavy ammo bars, so you're going to get even more ammo. You could probably just spam fixed odds in the entire run of an activity and still have ammo left, depending on how long it is. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Because last solar meta, we did have fixed odds meta. We did. That's what was the meta. It was the best machine gun, basically, to use GM content. I know we've got Xenophage, but Xenophage, you can't spam it. Xenophage is too light on ammo. Fixed odds has a massive amount of ammo. 400-500 bullets with field prep and stacks with scav is insane. Alright, I'm going to enhance my damage here. So I'm going to play more risky for the video. Let's test the build. I'm going to use Cranium on the boss instead. Look at the damage we've done, because I want to enhance my damage. And then I'm going to come to plan B option. This is what I do. This is where I do damage. My super is going to do sizable things for me. It's not going to kill that champ, but it's certainly going to thin the room. I have restoration left hand side, 14 seconds. Now I can whip out fixed odds. Or so be it, the sidearm if I wanted to. But that's the sidearm's problem, is he hasn't got much range. Hopefully they fix the beam where you can use it at a bit more range than 10 meters. You know, it's good, it's effective up close, is the sidearm, yeah, but from a distance it's got range drop off. Like watch. Get the stun. Let's check damage. Alright. Little chunker there, but not enough. I'd say it's a mini chunk. But I would say it's still not enough. But remember, there's no solar surge up. So yeah, look, it's not doing... I would say it's probably 20% short on damage there on that. The way I sort of test gun damage on champs in GM content is, does it do a third damage in one stun off an exotic primary? If the answer's yes, it passes the test. If the answer's no, it's suboptimal. But Devil's Ruin has good ease of use for stun on champ. It's an instant stun and it's pretty nice. That's its strength. Its weakness is range. It's a sidearm, I know, but I think the rules should be accepted where it shoots at 20 meters, maybe 25 meters. That's its thing. It's a sidearm, but it can fight from range, like Forerunner can. Because it's exotic. It should break the rules. That's what Devil's Ruin should do. It should be allowed to be breaking the rules on what a sidearm is, because Forerunner does. Forerunner is not a sidearm, it's a hand cannon. It's actually more of a hand cannon than it is a sidearm. That's exactly what Devil's Ruin should be allowed to do. So I've optimized ammo here. This is what we're doing. We're using Supremacy here just to speed up this damage. I'm max on Special again, which is probably going to be just enough to be able to do the damage to... I mean, I can use my Super right now, but I may as well use it on the Minotaurs, because by the time I expand my Special Ammo here, I'm not going to need Super on boss right now. You know what I mean? Look at his HP. Manage it. HP management of the boss, look. And I don't need sniper rifle ammo for a while for anything really, so I may as well expand it. Phase 1 of this boss is expandable ammo really. Keep a bit of machine gun ammo for sure, because there are overloads coming up, but I mean, it's only one overload. It's not even two, it's only one, so it's not much of a problem either. But boss is weak. Now I've got a Super. I was going to use it on the boss, but then I was like, I've done that much damage, I may as well just use Super on Minotaurs and speed up the Minotaur phase. We'll send the boss with Devil's Ruin, nice. We'll take out some Blights. I'm going to take out this one here. Establish what Bane you've got. Before you commit to a Super, establish what Bane you've got. One of the Minotaurs could be a Bane. Or it could be that the Thrall is a Bane. Randomized Banes. So, doesn't look like... Yeah, so I'm just going to go in with a Super here. So I'm going to use a Super here on one of the Minotaurs. Well, both of them. I'll get 2 Minotaurs down. And then I'll go for a Relic. So boss is obviously in middle. Boss will teleport to back mid after a certain percentage amount of blights are destroyed. So we're going to use a bit of Devil's Ruin gameplay here. This is what it's good for, and I imagine it's actually even better on PC, because when you hold down the trigger, that beam, you get advantage of the beam if you can scan it round ads to get more ad clear potential off it. And that, because it scorches or will scorch in Edge of Fate, it may be a bit better than you're going to think it's going to be because of the scorch, and will take advantage of Solar 3.0 fragments. So on a CQC basis, Devil's Ruin could be very nasty, but again, like I say, because of its weakness of it not being effective out of 10 meter range, people will not use it and will use Polaris Lance instead. And I foresee a Polaris Lance meta, yes. For sure there will be, and that will be the dominant solar exotic. That, Taiku's Divination might be slightly, and also the other solar exotic bow. Hierarchy of needs. We may be in a little bit of a hierarchy of needs meta as well. We've had that in the past. We've seen what that's like. If you haven't seen it, then you weren't playing. But we have had hierarchy of needs meta. It's happened. But it was more Polaris, but hierarchy was in that conversation slightly. There was builds for it. Don't say there wasn't, because there was. Yeah. So, for all, our mini hammer done a good short work of taking them out. We need a Super for phase 2 for Overload, which we've taken out that final Minotaur. So make sure all Minotaurs are killed. Make sure all Thrall are killed. I'm just looking to get some ammo. And I'm going to pick up one of the... I'm not going to pick up a Relic. See, Relics is DPS in this. So not picking up a Relic is really a good thing, to be honest. If you've got a plan for the Overload, it doesn't matter. This is where you stand, best place to stand. There's no other better zone than this. The boss cannot see you. He'll only know your last known location. So you take out this Blight here. I'm going to pop a barricade for a deterrent. That will soak damage up. Machine gun stun on Overload. Mini hammer for limit break. Pop Super. Overload gets melted. Good enough. Now the Super is killing not only the Overload but the rest of the ads whilst keeping me alive. With a restoration chain kill. That's pretty nice. Like for that little section there, the Super done just about enough that I would want it to do. But if I didn't have bolt charges, then the Super would have done far less than what it did. I would not have got as many ads killed as I did, and Champ being killed. I would have killed Champ with just the Synthoset buff alone, but it would have taken more Super energy, and there would have been more snipers alive at the end of the super, which I would have had to then whip out Devil's Ruin or LMG to make sure I kill them in time before I die. Alright, phase 2, we're just doing our relic damage. Because it's Arc Surge this week, this is basically, it's free this week. The amount of damage the craniums are doing, it's an incredible amount of damage that they're doing. So we're just doing relic damage, speed the run up. I know it detracts away from the video, and the video is about Solar Titan, and I know that. But I'm stuck because I could do a different GM, but you lot don't have access to it. So what's the point? I could do a different GM and showcase Solar Titan in better light, like as in for the video, and break it down a bit better than this one. But it's pointless because you lot don't have access to the node. I do still, because I was clever enough to realise your Conqueror Triumph will be bugged if you hand Triumphs in, because we seen this few seasons ago. I already knew that this was going to happen. So, I mean, next season it's going to be completely different to now, so I guess it's pointless to really talk about it, but be careful. Always be careful with hand and Triumphs in for anything that you're doing. Like, that's the thing, you've got to be careful. For future, just be careful with stuff. Because I've kept the node and you haven't, because you didn't listen to my advice or you missed my video on it. I already told everybody, start of the season, don't hand your Triumphs in. I told everybody, but you didn't see the video, and you lot just immediately banked on your Triumphs. Oh, I want a guild, I want a guild. Why? To show who? Someone in the tower? Now you've lost a farm now. I'm going to be able to farm inside Terminus, and you can't. Because you were quick to the gun to hand a Triumph in, to think that you were getting a leg up on the game, and you weren't. You done yourself out of loot. It's a massive mistake you made. A lot of yous made it. And like I said, I tried to warn yous, but you didn't listen, or you didn't watch the video. That's YouTube's fault. They didn't push my video far enough. This is the problem. YouTube doesn't push my videos enough to subscribers. Don't know why. It just doesn't. Yeah, and that's the problem. It's a shame. You know, you're watching shorts content that's rubbish. And did a shorts video pop up telling you not to do that? I bet it didn't. Nobody told you. Barely anyone told you. I was trying to tell people. Yeah. People just didn't see it. I mean, who should be angry? I should be more angry because I told everybody. Nobody listened. Well, what are you going to do? People will be people. But that's what happened. I'm just saying, in Edge of Fate, you need to be far more assertive than now. The game's going to be much more complex than now. So if you're struggling now, you will definitely struggle next season. Or you'll have to be on your A game. A lot of you'll have to be watching content more. And you'll have to watch the video far more than you are now. It's not me having you go, yeah, I'm being serious. You'll have to. Because that's the nature of the game. Even I'll have to watch more videos than I am now. Alright, so Super goes in. We get knocked back. Super does a pretty good job, but I got knocked back. So I didn't take as many ads as I would have liked. But with Ember of Empyrean, saves my life. I'm allowed to stay alive with Restoration and keep the thing going. Devil's Ruin here, look at this. Good example of safety. If you're getting pushed by an unstop and there's lots of danger, just getting a stun to de-aggro an unstop like that is very valuable. So say there's a world where there's 6 unstops chasing you, Devil's Ruin would be best in slot for that, because you'll be able to stun all 6 with one beam if you're good enough. Because each fraction of the beam would stun an unstop. But Bungie would never do this. But if they did up champ density, Devil's Ruin would have a place, because the beam would be able to stun all 6, you run away, then you can stun all 6 again, you run away, or do damage, or what have you, or what it might be, whatever it might be. Okay, so final phase goes in with 30 minutes in. That's not bad for Solar Titan, that. It's not bad at all. So the super performed reliably well, and it would, and I knew it would, because limit break stacks with Synthoceps. So we're getting more out of the super. I can guarantee you if I did not run Synthoceps in this, the run would have been far worse than this. Probably would have been an upward 40-minute run and would have been no good for solo. I can tell you that right away. Path of the Burning Steps would have been no good. I already done testing with it. Phoenix Cradle would have been no good. Lori Splendor would have been good. Lori Splendor is a very good solar exotic. And that would have been pretty good because you can play very aggressive and still stay alive with Lori Splendor. So I forgot to mention that exotic. That exotic's very good, especially in day 1 content. I use a Super D to finish the boss off. That was a solo GM with a Solar Titan and Devil's Ruin for an interesting run. Make sure you got super exotics, farm up that with intellect stats. That was the run on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.